There we go. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you for spending your time with me around this time. I'm talking to two specific groups, right? The first group of women that I'm talking to when I pop in this group are those who are professional working women. Maybe you're mid-career and you are at that 12, 15 year mark, and you're trying to decide whether or not you should take this side business that you've built and go full time into it, make your dreams happen, right? Or whether or not you should stay in your 9-to-5 and continue working your side business, or give it up altogether and just go and retire with your 9-to-5. If you are in that group, stay, listen. The conversation is all about you. If you are in this other group, still stay and listen because it's all about you too. It's going to be really, really good today. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a contractor, you are a freelancer, you are an entrepreneur, and maybe you work part-time or full-time in someone else's business, you're that person that makes magic happen. You bring traction and momentum and movement and results into your client's business. But when you look at your business, it's in the corner collecting dust because you don't have any time, any energy to focus on the things that you need to focus on to really bring growth to your business. Same goes for you folks who work a 9-to-5 job, right? You're working on projects, you're working on teams, you are working, making magic happen on the things you're doing in your 9-to-5. And when you get home, you're tired, you have a family, there are things that you are responsible for. You have lots of competing priorities. So when you think about what it takes to build and to grow your side business, you're like, what's the easy way? Like, it doesn't have to be this hard. Why does it feel this hard? So if you fall in any of those categories, again, stay tuned as we talk about one thing I wish I knew. As we talk about one thing I wish I knew before I made the transition and the big leap from my 9-to-5 and going into entrepreneurship full time. All right. So one thing I want to talk to you guys about today is your business model and building your business. When you work a 9-to-5 job, or you're working part-time, full-time in someone else's business as an entrepreneur, freelancer, contractor, you don't have the same time, energy, or capacity as someone who is working in their business full time. Would you agree with that? Let me know in the comments. Would you agree with that? You're working 20 to 40 hours a week for someone else. You have a family, other competing priorities. Maybe you're taking care of a loved one. Maybe you volunteer. So when you look at your business, you are trying to build it with the same type of foundation or infrastructure as someone who is doing this full time. That's the one thing, guys. That's the one thing I wish I would have known earlier on. That's one thing I wish somebody would have told me earlier on. The fact is, you cannot build your business and in many cases have the same business model as someone else, all the gurus who you see out there, because your capacity, your availability is very, very different. Unless you're going to sacrifice sleep, time with your loved ones, or sacrifice your health and self-care and your connection and your relationships. And for those of you, just like me, when I was in that situation, when I was building my business, like everybody else that I saw out there doing it, because there was one way of doing it: grinding, hustle culture, get it done. You need to do all of these steps in order to get the result. And I found myself not sleeping. My health was impacted, and I struggled with frustration and overwhelm because I was trying to play a game or get into a league that I wasn't ready for. It wasn't my time to do that. Again, because I didn't have the capacity and the availability and the hours in the day to commit and to give like everyone else. So that's the one thing I wish I would have known. Charlene, you do not have to build your business like somebody who's working as an entrepreneur 60 hours a week. You do not have to build your business like someone else who has a team of 5, 10, and 50. You do not have to manage and run and operate and build and grow your business like someone else when you don't even know what's happening in the background. All you see is the results. That's what I told myself, right? And that's what I want to let you know. It is okay to slow down, to go fast. There is no competition, okay? There is no competition. I honestly, firmly believe that I don't have competition. My job is to create the competition in my marketplace and industry. And I want you to think like that, right? You're not competing against yourself. You're not competing against your neighbor, and you're not competing against someone else who you see on social media with 15 posts every single day, or they have an event happening every single week. You may not have the capacity and the availability, hours in the day, or the energy to put all of that effort in. Now, listen, I struggled with this. Because I felt as though if I didn't do that, I wasn't good enough. If I didn't do that, I wasn't sacrificing enough. If I didn't do that, I wasn't going to get the result that everybody else got. But that is absolutely false. Please hear me when I say, if you are working a 9-to-5 job, if you are an entrepreneur, contractor, entrepreneur, and you are working as a W-2 in someone else's business, or if you have a lot of other competing priorities, right? Whatever those priorities may be, all you know is you don't have 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week on top of everything else that you're doing to make this business thing happen. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't mean you can't grow. It doesn't mean you can't build. It doesn't mean you can't earn 5 and 6 figures and beyond, multiple 6 figures in your business while you're in your 9-to-5 job. It just requires you to think about and strategize a little bit differently. You may have to strategize for a longer game plan. Right? You may not be able to do all the things in 60 days or in 30 days or 90 days or maybe even 6 months. Now, I will also say it really doesn't take that much to get you to 5 and 6 and multiple 6 figures before you leave your 9-to-5 job. You can build your business in a way that is still healthy, it's still sustainable, it's still profitable without you even leaving your 9-to-5. Because to be honest, a lot of you may not even want to leave your 9-to-5 because you loved it. I loved my 9-to-5. I have to be honest. I have to be real. I loved my 9-to-5 job. I was getting paid 6 figures. I love the work that I do. I love the people. I was working on billion-dollar projects, leading projects and teams. It was amazing. But what prompted me to shift, what prompted me to shift was the fact that I realized that there was more potential in me. There was untapped, buried potential in me that I was willing to discover, develop, and deploy, right? There were situations that occurred at my job where I was like, I'm the best person for this. I was promised these promotions. I was promised these next level things, but they were no longer I was no longer positioned for them because of my location. And because of that, I told myself, corporate is not loyal. I told myself, why are you depending on man, a person, for your next promotion? Listen, I'm a God girl. I'm a faith girl. So I believe in God. I'll drop scripture sometime. I'll say the word God. Okay. So if that offends you, no apologies. That's just who I am. But still listen, because I promise you the things that I share will still help you. But I want to let you know in advance that I do use scriptural reference and I do say the word God, right? So I was asking myself, why am I depending on man for my promotion? I should be depending on myself for my promotion. I should be depending on the Lord and my belief system for wherever it is I wanted to go. So I had to check myself and say, Shirlene, at the end of the day, can no person give you anything that you cannot get for yourself? That's a different story for a different day. I just needed to go off on that tangent just to let some people here know that even if you love your 9-to-5, you love your job, there is something deep within you that is telling you you have the potential to be greater than what you are now. You have the potential to be and do whatever it is. You have the potential to be, do, have. You have the potential to own your value, own your time, own your income stream, own your freedom, so you could do whatever the heck you want to do when you want to do it. There's that deep desire in you that's saying, although I love my job, I gotta go. But before I go, I need a little clarity. I need a little confidence. I need to do some things foundationally in my business so I can start seeing more traction and momentum and movement before I make that leap. So I just wanted to sidebar a little bit and just speak to those people who felt like me when I just knew there was more for me. I had a vision. Like when I started my business, candidly, I didn't start it because I wanted to serve. I started it for two reasons. I needed extra income for extracurricular activities for my kids. I wanted to go on vacation. I wanted to fully fund my 401k. I wanted extra income. It wasn't about time and freedom and serving and helping. It wasn't until, well, hold on. The other reason was because what I mentioned before, at my 9-to-5 job, I was depending on someone else for promotion. I was depending on someone to give me an A. I was depending on someone to give me a great evaluation in order for me to take my first or next level steps, right? And when those things weren't given to me because of location, that's when I realized, girl, you're going about this the totally wrong way, the total wrong way, right? So, I'm saying all this to bring us back to the main point, which is the one thing I wish I would have known before I left my 9-to-5, which is the fact that I didn't have to build my business or grow my business in super warp speed because I sacrificed and gave up some things. And let me tell you now, if you want to grow and build your business in super warp speed and get to 5 and 6 and multiple 6 figures and hit that $1 million mark, you can. I promise you, you can. It'll take time, some elbow grease. You can. There's ways, it's strategies that you can use. There are business models that you should be using to get you there, right? You can. But just know this, it will not happen without you making a decision to not do this in this season in order to do this during this season. There has to be decisions that you have to be willing to make. Some people call them sacrifice. I call them decisions. And whatever decision you decide to make is completely up to you. And it has nothing to do with anybody else, right? Can nobody coerce you, coach you, or anything else force you into leaving your 9-to-5 to do your side business? Like, can nobody do that, right? Can nobody force you or coerce you or make you go super fast, give up all the things in 6 months or within 12 months in order for you to meet this goal because you're competing against yourself or somebody else or some imaginary expectation or some imaginary goal that we put in our head that gives us this feeling that we have to like push beyond the measure, push beyond the point, right? Not required. But if you decide to do that, there's nothing wrong or right. It's your decision. Entrepreneurship just requires decisions. Entrepreneurship requires decisions. And when you work a 9-to-5 job, when you're working part-time, full-time as a contractor, entrepreneur, freelancer, whatever it is, whatever your title is, you have to understand that there are decisions that you're going to have to make. Some people call them sacrifices because you cannot do all the things. Okay. So I basically gave you two things that I wish I would have known, right? Let's recap. The first one, I wish I would have known that I did not have to build my business like everybody else, right? I did not have to build or grow my business in this accelerated manner, giving up and sacrificing all the things that I did in the process of doing that, right? I didn't have to compare myself with 7-figure and 8-figure coaches at the time when I was just starting. I had to focus on my foundation, right? The foundation is what the most important thing was at the time. And I skipped steps. I skipped cycles. And I promise you, those steps came back and those cycles came right back. And I had to face them again because I was building my business in a way that I saw everybody else doing it. And it wasn't conducive with where I was in my business cycle and in the season of my life when I was working my 9 to 5, right? The second thing I shared with you inadvertently that I wish I would have known was the fact that entrepreneurship requires decisions. It requires uncomfortable decisions, and it's nobody else's business what those decisions require me to do. You may call it a sacrifice, you may call it giving something up, but it requires decisions. What am I willing not to do now temporarily in order for me to do this? What decision do you have to make temporarily? And what does temporarily mean? 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years, 5. What do you need to do in order to meet whatever goal you have? So those are two things I wish I would have known. Something else I'm going to share with you that I feel I need to talk about is the fact that when we are working a 9 to 5 job, right? Many people who I talk to, many clients I work with, many people in my space that I converse with, they are really building a side business, right? There's a difference between building a side business, a side hustle, having a gig, right? Versus building a real legitimate business. If you're looking for extra money, extra cash, and that may be your starting point, right? But you still may have that little desire to help people. So although I started because I wanted extra cash to do some things, and because of the situation that happened at my job that I loved, I also wanted to help people. I have to be honest. I have a heart of service. I want to help people. I want to see people have change. I want people to discover their purpose, who they are. I want people to see the brilliance within them. I want people to see their full, untapped, limitless potential. So I did have those desires. So let me correct myself. I did have those desires, right? But when you're building a business and you work a 9 to 5, many times we're building a business like a side hustle, which means we're just looking for cash injection strategies. We're looking for ways to get an influx of money in order for us to meet a goal. And that's how we operate, and that's how we run our business. And because of that, and sometimes we're not even thinking about it, it's subconsciously we're doing it, we're not realizing it because we see what other people are doing, and many times we want to mimic it and clone, copy, paste. But that's so dangerous in itself, trying to do things like everybody else, because it's just so inauthentic to who you are. And it doesn't make sense many times, many times, in terms of where you are in your cycle of business and in your season of life. But when we build our businesses, ladies, that way, what we tend to do is then go invest in programs to build a course and just a course, to build a program and just a program. We invest in disjointed, I want to say this very respectfully, we invest in disjointed solutions and disjointed strategies because we ourselves are disjointed, because we are operating from a place of lack, or we're operating from a place of wanting quick cash injection really quick for a specific goal, even if there's still that desire to want to help and impact. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if what I'm saying resonates and if what I'm saying makes sense. We cannot build, well, let me back up. I'm not going to tell you what you can't do. You can do whatever you want to do. If your desire is to build your side business, build your business on the side while you're working your 9 to 5, while you're an entrepreneur, while you are working full-time, part-time, W-2, non-W-2 in someone else's business. If your desire is to use your side business as the catalyst to catapult you into full-time entrepreneurship because you know you want to leave that 9 to 5 at some point in time, you have to start thinking differently right now, today, about your business. You have to start thinking about it differently. That's the third thing. I wish I would have known. Build your business for where you want to go. Build your business for the vision that you see. If you build your business like a side hustle, a quick money grab, it is going to show in your inability to convert. It's going to show in your inability to attract the right prospect, the right lead, the right ideal candidate, the right ideal client. Some people call it avatar. You're going to find that there are lots of disconnects within whatever service you're offering. And many times you're going to be disconnected yourself. And it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out, who am I marketing? What skill set do I want to monetize? And how I'm going about and giving my clients results. Like, what is the guarantee, the promise that I can give to the person who's investing in themselves through me? It's going to be very disjointed, and you're going to find it very difficult to put all those puzzle pieces together because you're not building your business for sustainability or longevity. You're building your business for a quick money cash grab, or a quick cash injection, or for a quick money grab. Listen, many people don't talk about this. Many people don't say it out loud, but that's what many people are doing. Even if you don't work a 9-to-5 job, there are many people who are still doing it that way. They're building a gig, a side hustle, right? It's not a real legitimate business. Even if you have an EIN number, even if your business is registered in your state, which it should be, guys, right? It's foundational. It should be. Right? Even if you have business insurance or liability insurance, which you should, professional liability. I'm putting these little things in here. Those are foundational. You should have, right? Even if you have those things, you have to build your business and not a course and not a program. You're not here to build a course. You're not here to build a business. You're not here to build a course, and you're not here to just build a program. You're here to build a business. You want to replace your 9-to-5, or you want to be a full-fledged entrepreneur that has a brand, a force, a message behind them that changes the trajectory of the lives of the people who are encountered through your experience that you give them, through your messaging, and through your very presence. If you want to build a real business, you have to look at what you're doing now and determine if you are taking the right steps to creating a foundational infrastructure for yourself that will give you the confidence and the clarity to lean out and to exit and to jump and to make the leap into full-time entrepreneurship, or to start taking your business seriously, more seriously than what you're doing now. 100% of these 7- and 8-figure businesses that I work with will tell you, do not believe the hype on just focusing on building whatever you're doing right now by only looking at the course, or only looking at the program, or only looking at the service. It's very narrow-minded. Your vision is bigger than that. And if you don't have a vision, if you haven't sat down to truly think about the why behind the why of what you're doing, you need to take the time to do that. Please take the time to do that, because that's a part of giving you the clarity and the confidence that you need to start taking the baby steps or the huge leaps of faith to transition, to make the exit, to do something different, to stand up for yourself, to trust in your potential, to trust in your brilliance. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Does that make sense? These 7- and 8-figure businesses that I work with will tell you not to jump on this or into this hype, not to jump into this hype of focusing on just a program or just a course, because once you have growth, I experienced it. Once you have massive growth, an influx of clients and leads that are coming at one time, you're not going to know what to do with yourself. You're not going to know what to do with yourself, because operationally, foundationally, you are fragmented. You're broken. There is nothing that works effortlessly without you, because you have not built the foundation of what it is you're working on. There's too many cracks. So when you get leads, they fall through. When you get an influx of clients, they fall through. They don't refer. They don't come back. Your messaging is unclear. You don't know what you're offering. You don't know what your skill sets are. You don't know what you're good at. You don't know who you want to attract because you're focusing on this business thing in the wrong way. It's not about just a program or a course or a service. It's about experience, the experience you give, the results you give, the value you bring to the table, the vision that you have, how you want to serve greater and impact wider, how you want to disrupt the status quo in your industry and in your marketplace. It's greater than just a side business, side hustle, and side gig, guys. It's greater than that. You have to create an infrastructure that allows you to grow and scale because honestly, you don't know when the growth happens. It can happen with an influx, with one ad, with one post that you put on. It can happen with one ad, one post, one live, one piece of content that you put out there, and you're getting an influx, and you create the overwhelm for yourself, the frustration for yourself, the exhaustion for yourself. And remember, you're not even a full-time entrepreneur yet. You still have to deal with your 9-to-5, your household and family, and all the other priorities that are competing for your attention and your time and your availability and your capacity. When you build your business from the ground up the right way, especially if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you make things easier for yourself so that you can grow, you can gain the confidence, you will have the clarity to make whatever decisions you need to make. So I hope this was helpful. We talked about a lot of different topics today, but I hope this served you in some way. I hope what I've shared with you allowed you to think about at least one thing differently, because I really want you to be successful. There's enough money out here for everyone to make. There is a lot of impact that needs to take place. The marketplace needs your voice. They need your energy. They need the transformation and the results that you bring to the table. And they need you. So I believe in you. I believe in all the brilliance that you have. But I always say my belief in you will do nothing for you. It'll give you some momentum, but I can't make you do the things. You have to face the reality, face the facts, shift some things, make decisions. Some will be hard, some will be uncomfortable. It's part of being an entrepreneur, part of being a mom, part of being a wife, part of being an employee, part of being a friend, part of being a daughter, part of being a human. You gotta make tough decisions. And this is one of those tough decisions that creates our own self-sabotage, because we are building and doing things in a way that isn't conducive to who we are, what cycle of business we're in, what season of life that we're in, because we're so enamored on doing what everybody else is doing, following what everyone else is saying, and building just this one fragment of the business when it's a whole lot more than just that. I am Shirlene, the CEO of Boss Building Your Way, and I help service-based businesses make 5 and 6 and multiple 6-figure leaps in their business with team, systems, strategy, business development, education, so you can reclaim your time, so you can own your value, and so you can enjoy the freedoms that entrepreneurship brings without sacrificing your quality of life. What I want you to do, I'm going to put a link in the description right now. Give me a quick second as I get the link. I don't know why I never just get the link before I go live. I think it's because I'm like running from one meeting or conversation to another. But I'm going to put a link, and that link is going to be to a wait list. And what I'm going to do, and thank you for all those who reached out, who've emailed, who have messaged me. Thank you for watching the content that I provide in this group. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for taking some of the things that I say to heart and implementing and executing and just thinking differently about how you do business and how you think about business, regardless of if you have a 9-to-5 or if you don't have a 9-to-5. I've been getting messages and comments from people who fit either one of those spectrums. So thank you for being here. What I'm going to do, I think I found it. Let me just check it. I'm going to drop a link in the comments, and the link is going to be to a workshop that I'm going to put on. I'm actually going to put on a 3-hour workshop, pop on and serve, and like help you start taking the steps necessary from your mindset to what you're working on currently. And just to make sure that foundationally you're set, helping you look at the bottlenecks in your business, help you figure out where you're unclear so that we can like get your business ready to make those 5, 6 and multiple 6 figures so that you have the confidence, competence, and clarity to create options for yourself. And that option can be exiting your 9-to-5, or the option could be staying in your 9-to-5. Whatever it is, I want to help create options for yourself. So let me look for myself here. If I can't even find myself right now on the screen, guys. Okay, there we go. Apologies. Go ahead, get on the wait list. And again, it's going to be to a 3-hour event that I'm going to put on because I want this to be accessible to as many people as possible. And I wish you guys can like feel my energy. I just want you to be so successful. I want us as women to be successful. I want our entrepreneurial energies to like overflow into our family and into our kids. And we can create the next generation of entrepreneurs. We can redefine our legacy. And it's so attainable. It just feels hard. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. But okay, I'm going to go. I have a meeting in about 2 minutes. But all right, guys, thank you. I put it in the comments. I'll see you next time. Bye.